Meaningful content dies with silent views. Your subscription, like, comment, and share help the video reach more people.
Some politicians and media professionals are not ashamed to say something and reverse it according to interest. I mean, they are looking for any justification. The justification may be a false justification. It may be naive, but when they want to do something, they look for any justification. Why? To beautify the situation? They want to take a bad attitude, an immoral attitude, an unnoble position, but he wants to be beautiful in front of his people and in front of the peoples of the world and even in front of himself. I showed some justifications. After that, he believed himself in these justifications. Now we have seen how the Americans turned against me. It doesn't matter why they turned on him. I mean, there are so many reasons. I think a secret agreement with Russia, like, cut American spending, you see, escaping the consequences for me to continue supporting, and maybe a clash with Russia, want to get out of NATO and Europe. What is the historical relationship between America and Europe? What's important is that America wants to withdraw its support from. I also expect you to withdraw your support for Ukraine. Want to withdraw its support for Ukraine? Okay, this is behind the promise, a criticism of the Charter. A, an unnoble attitude. After you immerse them in the war and encourage them to continue from the beginning, you could have been in it, meaning something of the formal negotiations, if there had been no strong support for the continuation of the war and for Ukraine to remain confronting Russia in the first line. Things could have been otherwise, but no. He encouraged him to go to war and gave him a weapon, and after that, now what do you want to leave him and walk away? Yet, 20% of. One is from Ukraine, and the rest are likely to go if America takes its hands off them. But at the same time, he wants to make the work a noble work. I mean, how is it a noble work when you break the promise and drown people like this? The solution is Satan Netzinski. This means very large escalations, so that the American people and the world are eager for the coup to help Ukraine, because they are led by a devil, and they are corrupt, and they are lost, and they are so-and-so. I mean, God will reward me with all the best. After I get rid of the support, what did they do? Stayed. We saw the meeting that happened. Between Trump and Zelensky, in front of the media, this is the intended dialogues. The escalation that occurred is intentional, that it is happening in front of the media to demonize. Escalation and very high tensions. They asked him to be more grateful. They asked him once that he thanked America and thanked Trump very much, although the same. I counted in a limited number of months, 33 thanks from Zelensky to America, Biden and Trump. 33 included them in his speeches that he said in English. On my websites, on social media, whether on Facebook or on others, the CL itself said that we do not have a limit on the number of times America has been thanked. On the various platforms in their country in the Ukrainian language, we only did a count for a few months. I mean, they say that it is more than that. Thank you more than that. What do you want more than that? Do you want him to kneel down and kiss the foot or what? Don't you understand? I mean, you're thankful 33 times in as many months. 10 violins. This is an American statistic. I mean, CNN count, what does it mean? They tell him you don't respect America, you don't respect the American people, you don't respect the president. This is based on the dialogue that took place between him and Trump on television. I saw the entire dialogue. There is no kind of belittling America. On the contrary, all his words about Russia are telling them that Russia is working with covenants, not covenants, and commitments. And after that, you do not adhere to them. So what we will say now is the application of peace. Russia will betray him. We completely assume that America is disrespected, but he wants to demonize. B accuses that he is despised and ungrateful and a hater and many needs of the American people. so that the American people are not upset with Trump for demonizing Zelensky or for abandoning Zelensky. Trump tells you Zelensky is an unelected dictator. Now he is commenting on this topic, of course. This will end in May 24. He is supposed to remain in elections in 2024 after this May so that the new president will come. But the result is that the country is in a state of emergency, and that the country is in a state of ongoing war, and that a very large number, 1,000 of the Ukrainian people have left the country, and that the military situation is very dangerous. As a result, he lost 20% of the land area to Russia. All of this? Yes, elections. Delaying the elections is debatable, regardless of being right or wrong. But that's why it's not like that. He said Trump didn't say that. He said that he was an unelected president, a dictator who continued in power after the term ended, even though America appeared. This talk happened in World War II. This is a complementary virtue because we do not have an opportunity for elections during World War II. How many terms is the third term, even though it is supposed to be the maximum requirement in the American Constitution of 2 terms, as it has an American precedent? But this topic was not mentioned in such a way. On the occasion, Trump also exaggerates the value of Zelensky among the Ukrainian people. You mean Trump says that Zelensky has no support from the Ukrainian people except 4%? Of course, it is an exaggeration in the report, very much of its value, on the basis that when we abandon him, we abandon one, the people do not like him. Originally, only 4% are the ones who support him, even though he was successful in the previous elections. Clearly and frankly, they are also exaggerating that the earth minerals that we were going to take from Ukraine were very expensive. 500,000. These are American estimates, by the way. And they were the ones who said it, but they said, no, that's it. This is deception and inaccurate numbers. Ukrainian minerals do not exceed 15,000. What do you want left? He withdraws the temptation that the American people had to support relations with Ukraine to withdraw even this, because he wants to get rid of this Ukraine issue. The American journalist also came out with news that he also burned the... What's wrong with him? What does he say? He says that, Ukraine sells the weapons it takes from America. At 20% of its price on the black market, it takes American support, not to fight Russia with it, in order to sell it to its interests, especially the corrupt acts. It does not sell it for the benefit of the state. This is a black market, and there is fear in the pocket. And the structure of all the lessons you will find now. And because they also put a spice like this on the mix, he tells you that this weapon is bought by Mexican drug dealers. Those who are on America's borders and are causing a problem for America, tell the American people that this is your extension that you are giving to Ukraine, and he will come back and hit you in the south. He said, that's it, Zelensky. I can't find anyone who sells him anything other than drugs. Mexico is a vast world, and he also sells to Hamas. He also interferes with the Jews on the issue and sells to the new Syrian administration, which is the origin of Al-Qaeda's origins. So it means collecting all global terrorism for them. If he takes the American weapon, he distributes it to the points of global terrorism against America. This is talk that means he will not sell if he wants to sell the weapon to. For interests, they are sold anywhere in the world. Asia, in Africa, anywhere in the world. People want to buy weapons. No, he wants to raise this issue, and more than that. He tells you, by God, he controls the biological laboratories in Ukraine, some of which are American. There are germs for biological warfare. He is the one who tells you that we do not know at this time. What is the fate of these germs? What does it mean? You mean weapons of mass destruction. I have biological warfare. So Zelensky is playing biological warfare, which is destruction. The American invasion of Iraq and weapons of mass destruction and the work of a very huge war entered, and they entered a cult or not. The origin is comprehensive destruction and no need, and a world that forgot the whole world forgot this issue. And the issue ended in the same story. We enter Ukraine and no relatives of Ukraine, and we don't sell Ukraine. Uncle, they are working in biological warfare in mass destruction. If we leave them, this will be a noble act. This is the situation right now, which is very strange. Why are you? Compare this photo with the previous one. Why were they supporting Ukraine? This was something else entirely. Trump himself in February 2022, meaning several days after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, held a conference in Florida for the Republican Party. At that time, he had not left the presidency. President Biden held a conference for the Republican Party and expressed his strong sympathy for the Ukrainian people. He denounced the Russian invasion. He said in this, the speech is Zelensky, this is a brave man, because he did not leave Kyiv even with all these problems. In his eyes, he was a hero, a brave hero, a symbol of Ukraine, the US Congress. The US Congress happened to be in a very strange need. In December 2022, in the same year that Ukraine was occupied, it was received by Zelensky's first foreign visit. After the war, they received Zernitsky, the conquerors. There was a reception in Congress. This reception only happened to some historical figures like Churchill, like America came out of a world war after World War II. The House of Representatives and the Shura Council means the House of Congress in both terms. We received this man and a very busy reception in Washington before he enters the LA. The meeting was held in the presence of a large number of Democrats and Republicans, and this is also a precedent, a rarity in American history. It is two parties that came together on one national issue, the issue of supporting Ukraine and supporting Zelensky. And Zelensky entered Congress on this day and received him. The members of the two councils included many very, very senior figures in all the ministers, all the political staff, and loud applause, and they interrupted her during the speech, a speech every 20 minutes, Zelensky's speech in front of Congress, meaning he interrupted it several times with applause, and when he finished, they all stood up and loud applause. All this is for the devil now, and this speech is in December, after a year of the war, or nearly a year of the Russian war, and also no one says I swear, but this was in control of things, the Democratic Party. This means something different, other than Trump and the Republican Party. The Republican Party itself was supportive of this subject. I'm speaking on one of the Republicans. In a meeting with Zelensky at a conference in Milan in September 2024, how many months ago I began to greatly admire his courage, and a meeting with Zelensky and the courage of the Ukrainian people in the face of Russia witnessed our political and media brothers and sisters turning to demonize those who want to eliminate them. At the same time, they paint an angelic image of those they want to support, completely far from the truth, neither the truth in this nor in that with the devil. And I have a king. But he who wants to do them beautifies the picture in order to do what he wants, as if he were applying the noble verse in the book of the Lord of the worlds, "Glory be to him," and you make your livelihood because you are lying. Eat their nest of lies. So the bottom line is, don't judge anyone through global political and media channels. But if you want to reach the truth, read the different points of view, this and that thing, and its opposite. Through this you may reach part of the picture. May God help you, may God reward you well, and may God's peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you.